Mistakes can usually lead to a lot of drama on people's channels, especially when it's the spread of misinformation. However, when one of the biggest YouTube Shorts creators makes a simple mistake, it can lead to an audience having a complete meltdown over a simple issue. That's exactly what happened to Zack D Films, who is undeniably one of the fastest growing YouTubers right now, surpassing some of the biggest names on the platform, including Mr. Beast and certain growth metrics. His information-filled animations rack up millions of viewers all around the world. However, no creator is perfect, and over the course of his journey, Zack has made a few notable mistakes in some of his videos. However, what sets him apart is how he handles those mistakes, owning up to them in a way that many YouTubers simply don't. So stick around until the end of the video, and also consider subscribing. It's free and y'all can always unsubscribe if you'd like. One of the first big errors that got widespread attention happened in the spring of 2022, when Zack uploaded a video analyzing a well-known musician by the name of Specialhead. You might remember him from the very popular show by the name of America's Got Talent, where he performed an incredible levitation trick. Anyways, the performer was basically wrapped in a robe where he was standing on a carpet and holding onto a cane with his left hand. While he was doing this, he began to hum before slowly ascending off of the ground, and it left everybody in the room speechless, with everybody asking themselves how it was even possible. Not too long after the trick was performed on stage, Zack actually posted a video explaining how this trick was done. He theorized that there was a hidden metal base under the carpet and that the magician's cane was actually part of a mechanical structure connected to a support rod hidden under his sleeve. This setup that Zack argued would allow the magician to lift his legs using core strength while maintaining the illusion of levitation. It didn't take long for Specialhead himself to respond after his performance on America's Got Talent, because a few days later he actually posted a TikTok where he repeated the levitation trick, but then he removed his robe, showing that there was no harness or mechanical aids holding him up so he could levitate into the air. He even left a comment on Zack's original video challenging his theory. This later led to Zack realizing that he made a critical mistake that he had to own up to. However, Zack did what many YouTubers wouldn't. He actually made a follow-up video addressing his error, because in a short but direct clip, he actually admitted that the video he made a few days ago was inaccurate and wrong. Instead of doubling down or ignoring the criticism, he actually admitted that he had no idea how the trick actually worked.
A few days ago, I showed you how this trick was done, and I was wrong. This is how I originally explained it. Cane, base, rods, back brace, harness. All that's left for the magician to do is use his core strength to pull his legs up. Well, this magician, known as Specialhead, left a comment on my TikTok. He also made a response video proving that my theory is wrong. There appears to be no base or harness. In fact, Specialhead has some other videos online where he just touches someone's head and levitates. So what's going on here? What's the real explanation to this trick? The answer is that I have no idea.
This was a move that won him even more respect from his audience, and honestly, I respect Zack much more now that he quickly responds to his mistakes and takes action to make sure misinformation isn't spread around the internet. But this was far from the only time when Zack had to correct himself. Another major mistake came in January of 2023, just about 2 years ago, when he made a video explaining why KFC changed its name from Kentucky Fried Chicken. In his original short, Zack confidently stated that KFC had to rename itself due to a trademark dispute with the state of Kentucky. According to Zack's video, Kentucky had trademarked its own name and demanded licensing fees from companies using it, so KFC chose to drop the name Kentucky to avoid paying. It seemed like an interesting fact that we all could have believed was true, but little did we know, it was actually incorrect.
30 years ago, Kentucky Fried Chicken changed their name to KFC, and the reason they did this is not what you think. You see, the rumor was that they wanted to nix the word fried for health reasons, but it turns out that wasn't true. The actual reason they changed their name was because of Kentucky, the state. You see, in order to make more money, the state decided to trademark the word Kentucky. This meant that anyone who used the word would have to pay licensing fees. Kentucky Fried Chicken refused to pay and changed their name instead.
See, his viewers wasted no time pointing out the error in his comments. Many noted that the story was actually a long debunked myth, and some even linked sources disproving it. Some comments include, "Snopes did him dirty," and "I can't even imagine if the Snopes were actually laughing while watching this video." And if you guys don't know what I mean by Snopes, here, I'll explain it. Basically, Zack based his claim on an article he found on Snopes, a well-known fact-checking site. However, he didn't realize that the article in question was listed under Snopes' Lost Legends section. And if y'all didn't know what the Lost Legends rating means, it's basically a collection of fictional stories designed to troll people for fun. Essentially, he had fallen for a joke and implemented the false information by random people into a video seen by hundreds of millions of people around the world. Once again, rather than ignoring his mistake, Zack made a correction video. In his new upload, he clarified that the Kentucky Fried Chicken video he posted a few days ago was wrong and needed to be corrected. He He went on to explain that he had misread the source and admitted that he had been fooled, ultimately correcting the misinformation.
A few days ago, I posted a video about why Kentucky Fried Chicken changed their name to KFC, and my explanation was wrong. You see, I explained that the name change was KFC's way of nixing the word Kentucky, so they wouldn't have to pay licensing fees. But after posting this video, I noticed some of the comments were claiming I was full of so I retraced my steps and found where I went wrong. You see, I got this information from a Snopes article, but I didn't realize that Snopes had rated this article as Lost Legend. A Lost Legend rating is their way of trolling people, and I fell for it.
And if y'all thought that was it, there's actually more. Then came another bizarre case in August of 2024, just around a year ago, when Zack D Films covered the infamous Mountain Dew mouse lawsuit. In his video, he retold the story of a man who claimed to have found a dead mouse inside of his can of Mountain Dew and sued PepsiCo. But what made this case so strange was PepsiCo's defense. They argued that Mountain Dew's acidic formula would have completely dissolved the mouse into a jelly-like substance before the customer could even open the can. This raised an absolutely terrifying question. If Mountain Dew could liquefy a mouse, what could it be doing inside of the human body? And in my opinion, this whole situation is honestly just disgusting.
A man claimed he found a dead mouse inside a can of Mountain Dew he was drinking, so he sued the SOA's parent company, PepsiCo. PepsiCo argued that Mountain Dew's highly acidic formula would actually dissolve a mouse body into a jelly-like substance before anyone could ever even notice it in the can. This odd defense left consumers worrying about what the soda really does to the human body if it can liquefy a mouse.
Let me just say that this video got tons of attention, but one YouTuber by the name of Edward Pinzaru wasn't convinced and decided to put the claim to the test. He took a toy mouse and a piece of chicken breast and an actual dead mouse. Then he sealed them in jars and filled them with Mountain Dew and let them sit for a month. Yes, I know, it is disgusting, but he wanted to test if this experiment was true. When a month went by, he finally checked the results, and the chicken had softened significantly, and the real mouse had begun breaking down, but it hadn't completely liquefied.
A mouse left in Mountain Dew for 30 days would completely dissolve, according to this video.
Mountain Dew's highly acidic formula would actually dissolve a mouse body.
But I want to see if that claim is true. So I bought an actual dead mouse, normally made for snakes and stuff, as well as a piece of chicken and a toy mouse. Then I filled 3 glass jars to the brim with Mountain Dew, and I placed the fake mouse, the chicken, and the real mouse in each jar to see what 30 days does to them. Mountain Dew's formula is pretty acidic, with a pH of around 3 to 4. So let's see what 30 days did.
Honestly, I don't know which one is which.
Meaning you'll see my first reaction to the results.
Let's see what happened to this one. Oh, that's the chicken.
It looked normal from afar, but
Oh, it's very malleable.
the acidity broke down the soft organic tissue of the chicken, making it very easy to tear apart. Then came jar 2.
3, 2, 1. Is that the actual rat?
It looked normal, but when I grabbed it,
Oh my god. I don't even know if I'm like...
it split in 2. And the toy mouse,
Hey, look at that. He survived perfectly.
This meant that while Mountain Dew was highly acidic, it might not be as extreme as PepsiCo had claimed. After all, he was simply repeating what PepsiCo's lawyers had said in court. But perhaps one of the most controversial mistakes Zack had ever made was his attempt to explain the Monty Hall problem, a famous probability puzzle. The classic version goes like this. You're on a stage in front of thousands of people and there are 3 doors. Behind one is a brand new sports car, while behind the other 2 are goats. You pick a door and then the host, who knows what's behind each door, opens one of the remaining doors to reveal a goat. At this point, you're given a choice. Stick with the original pick or switch to the other unopened door. This basically shows that the probability dictates that switching gives you a better chance of winning the brand new sports car instead of the goats. In one of Zack's videos, he decided to illustrate the concept using a bomb defusal scenario instead of doors. In his new version, you have 3 different colored wires: red, yellow, and blue. Only one will defuse the bomb, while the others will make it explode.
Imagine you're trying to deactivate a bomb with a red, yellow, and blue wire. Now, one of these wires is the correct option, and snipping it will stop the bomb from exploding. But the other 2 wires will cause the bomb to go off if they're snipped. You choose the yellow wire, but before you snip it, you learn that the red wire would detonate the bomb. So now you must choose between yellow or blue. And you might assume that it doesn't matter because it's 50-50, but that's not actually the case. In the beginning, each wire had a 1/3 chance of being correct. When you chose yellow, the other 2 wires had a combined chance of 2/3. And when red was identified as the wrong wire, the odds didn't actually change, they were just reflected onto the blue wire, which means your chances are better if you switch to blue.
This may seem completely accurate from the way I described the Monty Hall problem. However, this analogy had quite a lot of mistakes. The problem with his example was the information about the red wire was independent of the original choice, unlike the Monty Hall problem where the host always reveals a goat after you make your pick. Once again, Zack realized his mistake and recreated the video with a better analogy. This time he added a camera and a text message element to basically simulate a host who actively provides new information based on the contestant's choice. Zack D Films also pinned a comment to both the old and new versions of the video explaining where he went wrong and why the revised explanation was more accurate than his original video. Zack D Films has uploaded over 1,300 shorts, and the fact that only a handful of them contain mistakes is honestly impressive. What's even more commendable is how he takes accountability for those accidental errors that his entire audience shoves in his face. Unlike many creators who might ignore the criticism or try to defend their mistakes, Zack constantly tries to correct himself, showing that he is truly a reliable creator for new information or theories you might be interested in. Other than that, thank you for watching. We're so close to hitting our next goal for 20,000 subscribers, so it'd mean the world to me if y'all could just subscribe. Y'all can always unsubscribe, so why not? Click the recommended videos on screen to stay up to date with all of the recent drama I have covered on this channel. Don't forget to join the Discord server in the description. I like to chat and meet some of you guys there, so don't forget to join up in the links below. I love each and every one of y'all. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.